Walk us through a little bit, maybe your journey into the industry, maybe how you got started with your center, or if there's history even before that. I'd love to hear a little bit how you got started in bowling.
Yeah, absolutely. So we actually started with in the inflatable industry. So I got into the family entertainment with some inflatable rentals and was doing that with the ultimate goal to open a family entertainment center. So we started with a small 7,500 square foot center with some inflatables and arcade. And on our journey to expand that, we came across the Richard Lanes that was for sale. So an owner that was ready to retire and wanted somebody to take over that was going to continue bowling in our town. And so we started looking at that and developed a plan, got a team together and put that together and took a 40 lane center down to a 24 lane center and converted it over to a family entertainment center by adding arcade, laser tag, escape rooms, full restaurant and bar.
Oh, wow. Yeah. So it's a big endeavor.
Yeah, definitely it was.
And that's the 814 lanes and games that you're talking about? Right.
Yeah. Correct, yeah.
Okay, so, and then you're also working on another one, it sounds like.
Yeah. So we've been doing very well with that one. The community supported us so greatly. And so we had been looking to expand closer to Pittsburgh in the Greensburg area prior to purchasing the center up there. So went back out into that area, and the building we had previously looked at was still for sale. So we purchased that, and we're in full construction mode right now with that in anticipation of opening in October.
Very exciting. So I'd love to take one step back and talk a little bit more about your first center, about maybe purchasing that, because coming from outside of the industry, tell me a little bit about that experience, maybe as much as you want to share about structuring the deal and how you made that first jump, because going from inflatables is one thing, but to this full center with 40 lanes and all the build out with it, it's something that, isn't exactly easy and takes a little bit of a leap of faith.
Yeah, definitely. So we were looking to expand and bring on some different attractions with what we had and come from a bowling background. So our parents had always bowled. My brother and I bowled all through school. So we were avid bowlers. We had joked around and talked about owning a bowling center when we were younger. And so when that opportunity, we were actually looking at an old Toys R Us building.
Okay.
And our real estate agent said, "Hey, you got to take a look at the bowling alley. The owner is really ready to sell." So we went over, took a look at it and talked to him, looked at the numbers and did a feasibility study and started putting some stuff together. And we're like, oh, we can really make this happen.
Yeah.
And then with figuring out the financial, bringing on some investors and partners to help with that, and just went from there. And then we started the design and started working with all of our attraction partners and everything and getting everything lined up. And it was definitely an experience for sure, going from a smaller center where we're leasing to purchasing the building and all of the obstacles that came along with that, and learning about a liquor license, learning about the restaurant part of it, and a lot of interesting things, new experiences there.
Yeah. No, what's your mindset going into something like that, or like through that progression? Is you're something like, hey, we're going to figure it out, or is it a little bit nerve wracking? Or walk me through a little bit about what it's like to be in that position.
It's definitely a combination of both. It's obviously a lot of stress because you anticipate some things not going as planned, and that's the way it's going to be with life, is that you're going to have those challenges that you have to overcome. But I believe that we have the mentality that we're just going to get it done no matter what it takes. And it was a lot of long hours, and it was a lot of construction, helping the construction crews and building walls and insulating walls, painting, and all of the things, to whatever we had to do to get it done so that we could open, because you have all of that cash flow going out and you're just so anxious and so eager to get it coming back in.
Yeah.
That's the stressful part. And the same thing here. It's like, we're doing this one now, and it's like, you see all the bills going out and you're like, oh man, it'll be nice when we can open the doors and get some of the guests back in there and get the community, because the community's excited about it. So,
right. Yeah. At the end of the day, that's
the anticipation. And that's what it's all about. Getting that cash flow back in and releasing some of that stress.
Yeah. So then you're almost looking forward to those stresses of the customers, because at least they're paying, right?
Correct. That's a little bit different stress than than the building phase, and making sure that the project is moving along and that everything times out, and working with your contractor and working with especially in our industry, when you're building something like this and the contractors is building everything out, but then we are saying, hey, we have a crew for this, we have a crew for that, we have a crew so we have a bowling crew, a laser tag crew, an escape room crew, all these different attractions that are coming in to fill the space that they're building. So, hey, you need to have this and this done, and you're giving them the checklists and making sure they're done for when they're coming in. So it's definitely a juggling act, and sometimes it can be high stressed.
Right. Drop a ball here or there.
Yeah. Sometimes you drop a ball and it rolls for a while.
Right.
So try to minimize the number of drops you have.
Right, exactly. And so speaking of that, what does that look like from the first center to the second one now? How do those two compare? Is it much easier? Is it a bigger build out, or just walk me through the difference of the two?
Yeah, so it's definitely a different experience. So the first one, we purchased an existing center and we basically remodeled the entire thing, but we had the bowling in place. And there was a restaurant, a pizza place there. So there was a footprint of a restaurant. As to where this project, we bought an old empty grocery store. Okay. So build out everything. So there's nothing. It was basically just an empty shell. So we had to put everything in, everything brand new, from the HVAC, electrical, plumbing, the sewers, everything is brand new in this one. So it's definitely a different experience taking over and remodeling versus doing a full build out.
Right. Yeah. So, a lot bigger. So then is that something again where you take on partners for capital and stuff just because it's such a bigger endeavor?
We were able to actually keep the same partners, and we reinvested what we were making at the Johnstown location.
Okay.
And so we didn't have to take on any additional partners or anything for this project.
Yeah. Okay. And you bought this building, or this is a triple net?
No, we actually bought this building as well.
Okay. Wow.
So we feel that it's better to be your own landlord.
Yeah.
And then we have the real estate as collateral.
Yeah.
With the loans and on the project, it's always better. I've heard some stories about people being in their building for a long time, and then all of a sudden somebody the landlord sells it. And we invest millions of dollars in these attractions and all the upgrades and things like that, and didn't ever want that to happen. So
yeah, it seems to be.
We own real estate at both locations.
Yeah, that seems to be the way to go, as long as you have the capital to get the real estate, just because long term, that's a big part of the business play, is that real estate appreciation.
Yeah, absolutely. So,
hey, did you like this video? Great. We make 10 of them a week. Subscribe to learn more and keep learning about what's working in the industry. Talk to you then.